I want to start with our top focus story tonight. The IPL versus drought controversy is essentially completely bogus, a false narrative being sought to build, which paints the IPL as the villain in the Maharashtra drought, whereas the reality is that the total amount of water required for the IPL is less than 0.03% of the water required to produce sugarcane in the state. Now, sugarcane is a hugely water-guzzling crop, the production of which has gone up far faster than any other crop in Maharashtra. It's controlled by the biggest netas of the state, and if there is one villain in Maharashtra's drought that makes the situation far worse, it's sugarcane. The problem is everyone's busy targeting the IPL and no one is talking about the actual villain in this situation. Here's why.
The real culprit is the state's policy that encourages production of water-guzzling sugarcane. Each kilogram of sugar requires 2,068 litres of water, which translates to about 2 million litres of water per ton of sugar. Compare that to the IPL and the numbers tell a different story. One IPL match in Maharashtra consumes 0.3 million litres of water. That comes to 6 million litres of water for 20 matches, which comes to only 0.00038% sugarcane water consumption. What's more, some of the biggest sugar barons in Maharashtra are powerful netas cutting across political lines, which essentially means that no one questions the sugarcane lobby. So while the Bombay High Court today questioned the BCCI about shifting matches out of Maharashtra, sugarcane, the real villain, seems to be getting away. Bureau Report, India Today.
So why is no one targeting the real villain, and why is it being made to seem as if shifting IPL matches out of Maharashtra will somehow alter the drought situation in the state and make things significantly better? Joining me on the newsroom tonight, Vivekanand Gupta. He is the BJP secretary in Maharashtra. With us also is well-known business journalist Sunil Jain and my colleague Sahil Joshi, who runs our Mumbai bureau. And I want all our guests, and especially Vivekanand Gupta, because he's the one who's been championing the cause for the IPL to be shifted out of Maharashtra, to look very carefully at the data that we've compiled. Now, the petition that's been presented before the High Court in Maharashtra says that one IPL match takes up about 0.3 million litres of water, about 3 lakh litres of water, which means that if there are 20 IPL matches to be held in the state, that would consume 6 million litres of water. So what's at stake really are 6 million litres of water. Compare this with the real villain of the drought situation in Maharashtra, sugarcane. 1 kilogram of sugarcane requires 2,100 litres of water, whereas 1 ton of sugar requires 2.1 million litres of water. So if I were just to compare these two data sets, what that essentially means is that 20 IPL matches would equal only 3 tons of sugar, while the IPL water consumption, the total IPL water consumption, would equal only 0.0000038% of the water consumption required to produce sugarcane in the state of Maharashtra. Take a very close look at the figure on your screen, because this really puts this story in perspective. We have been going after the wrong villain, especially as far as the other TV channels are concerned. If you want to fix the problem, you have to fix the problem about the excessive growth of sugarcane and how that can be dealt with. I have some more data points that I want to put, because the total amount of sugarcane being produced in Maharashtra is about 75.4 million tons, whereas the total water required to produce this sugarcane is 158 million tons. And remember, look at that figure of 158 million, compare it with the 3 million tons of water which were required to 3 million litres of water which were required for the IPL matches. So 158 million litres versus 3 million litres. That's the difference. Now, sugarcane cultivation is Maharashtra's biggest water guzzler. Sugarcane takes up only 4% of the total farmed land in Maharashtra, whereas the water consumed to produce this sugarcane requires about 71.5% of the total irrigation water in the state of Maharashtra. So to cultivate 4% of the land, you need 71% of the state's irrigated water. Why is it that no one is raising this question? Why is it that the focus is on the easy target, the IPL? That is because some of the biggest leaders in Maharashtra, Pankaja Munde, the rural development minister in the current BJP Shiv Sena government, Vinod Tavade, the state's education and culture minister, stalwarts from the opposition like Ajit Pawar, former deputy chief minister, NCP leader, Chhagan Bhujbal, Ashok Chavan, the former chief minister of the state, Amit Deshmukh, Congress leader, Patangrao Khadam, senior Congress leader, Jayant Patil, senior NCP leader, all of them are amongst the big sugar barons of the state. They work towards protecting the sugarcane lobby because they benefit directly from it. One last data point, between 2009 and 2014, 13 out of the 30 cabinet ministers in the Maharashtra government had interest in the sugarcane industry, which means about 1/3 of all the cabinet ministers in the state had interest in the sugar industry. Even now, in the BJP government too, leaders like Vinod Tavade, Pankaja Munde have direct interest in the sugarcane industry, and therefore it is being made to seem that the IPL is somehow to blame for the sugar, for the drought situation in the state, whereas the real villain is sugarcane cultivation. And I want to go across now to Sunil Jain, Vivekanand Gupta, Sahil Joshi. They're joining me on this broadcast. Sunil Jain, we'll start with you because it seems as if everyone is being made to believe a false narrative. There are channels that are hyperventilating, going on and on about how the IPL must be shifted out because there's a drought situation, whereas the story and the data really shows that it's only about 3 million litres of water for the IPL in comparison with 154 million litres required for sugarcane production. So if there's a problem, the problem is sugarcane cultivation, which is being done in excess, and not the IPL at all.
Absolutely. I mean, this is a problem, and frankly, this problem is not only that with the, in fact, you gave the data of the previous governments in Maharashtra also. I remember the last time there was a drought in Maharashtra, you had a similar problem, and that time Ajit Pawar used to be the, the agriculture minister or the water minister, and his statement was, should I piss in the dams to fill them up? Everybody is just avoiding the real problem, which is that you've got, and right now we're talking about Maharashtra, but the same thing applies to Punjab. It is shocking the kind of water that sugarcane guzzles. If you just shifted that production to UP, the water consumption goes down by half. But because the politicians there don't want the sugarcane to go away, they grow a water intensive crop. I mean, you're right, that is the heart of the problem.
Vivekanand Gupta, you're amongst the people who've been championing the cause for these 20 IPL matches to be shifted out of Maharashtra. Now, in the context in which we put out the real problem, 3 million litres of water versus 154 required for sugarcane cultivation. Why have you not been willing to speak up? Is it because your colleagues like Pankaja Munde, colleagues like Vinod Tavade have sugar industries themselves, that you find it easier to target the IPL, a glamorous target, go after the IPL, make it seem as if shifting the IPL will fix this problem, whereas that clearly is not the reason for the problem?
Maharashtra is facing drought, and it is a severe drought. Sugarcane industries are part of the industries which requires water, and therefore to stop sugarcane industries, to close sugarcane industries is not the real issue. Even Mumbai faces water scarcity. There is a water cut around 20% in Mumbai city. And when Maharashtra faces severe drought, then we have to save each and every liter of water, every milligram of water.
No, I'm sorry, I don't understand what you're saying at all. You are saying that it is not correct to shut down these sugarcane industries. If there is a crisis situation in the state, and if you actually have to try and find a solution, you should say the 154 million litres of water that are required to produce sugarcane must not be spent on sugarcane this year, so that people have adequate water to drink, to survive, to cook food. That is the easiest, the fastest, most effective solution. Instead of saying that the 3 million litres of water required for the IPL, that must be saved. That's only a speck in the overall comparison.
The district which Maharashtra is facing severe drought is in Marathwada, Khandesh and Vidarbha. And therefore they are facing severe water crisis. As I said, even Mumbai is facing a water crisis. There is a water cut down of 20%.
You're not answering my question at all. Why are you not willing to say on this broadcast that the sugar industry must be stopped for this year from consuming excessive water? That's the solution. That's the biggest water guzzler. 71% of your state's water is required to irrigate sugarcane. That's the water that must not be spent there.
You mean to say that industry should be closed? Rahul, you mean to say that industry should be closed and cricket should be allowed? We need sugar, we need industries, we need sugar. But we don't need an IPL as for
Okay,
now.
let Sunil Jain respond.
IPL is not cricket tournament.
That the sugarcane industry is linked to the farmer's income. There'll be a different kind of rural distress if you stop the sugarcane industry from functioning this year. Therefore, even if you shut down the IPL in Maharashtra, it makes no difference to anybody's life, whereas stopping the sugarcane industry actually makes a big difference. Let Sunil Jain respond.
Mr. Gupta, I can understand the need for doing tokenism. That's very important in life. So, people get fooled by tokenism. So, it's a good thing to do tokenism. I understand that. And, I think it's brave of your party to try and get away with it. The important question here that we've got to ask is if I can just make my point, the question that you've got to ask here is, that if 3 tons of sugar, if the amount of water used in 3 tons of sugar is the amount that is going to be used for the entire IPL matches. I mean, I'm not a great fan of the IPL, but I'm saying if that is the amount of water that's going to be used in the IPL, you look at the shortage of water that you have, and you look at the water that sugarcane consumes, how much will shutting off the IPL, if you were to remove the IPL from Maharashtra, how many more people can you actually give water to and for how many days? That's the question you've got to ask. The thing is that if the IPL is moved out of Maharashtra, how many more days will you get water for how many people? And after those days, after those 1 day or 2 days are over, how are you going to provide people water? You will have to come out with realistic solutions. And one realistic solution and this is of course, as I said, it's a long-term issue. One realistic solution is to get into crops which don't consume as much water.
The IPL seems to be an easy target. A false narrative is being built, whereas all these netas who are also sugar barons, they're very cozily protecting each other because they're NCP, Congress, BJP leaders, all of them running their own sugar factories. Therefore, nobody wants to speak against this.
Rahul, just to add to what Sunil was mentioning just a while back, the most important point here is that the water which is being used, consumed for the sugarcane industry is going to have a long-lasting impact on the whole agriculture sector. Now, looking at that, in 1999, Maharashtra Water and Irrigation Commission, which was set up by the Maharashtra government itself, submitted a report, and it clearly said in that report that there should be a cap on how many sugar factories should be opened. And despite that, after that, districts like Solapur, which has acute water shortage, districts like Latur, mostly of all the districts of Marathwada, they started having sugar factories in last few years. Nearly 20 sugar factories were added since 1999. So the report was clearly not looked at by the government, successive governments, even by the opposition, because everyone started having their own sugar factories.
In water scarce areas like Marathwada, what they actually should be growing are pulses and oil seeds, which are better suited for the kind of soil that exists over there. Trying to fix that problem is actually the solution that you should be working on. Instead, you're trying to target the IPL, which frankly isn't a solution. It's a nonsensical solution. Trying to shift the IPL will make very little difference to the situation. No one's talking about the real problem, Mr. Gupta.
Rahul, sugar industry is closed or shut down, it will worsen the situation. More unemployment. And if IPL is shifted, I said, what difference IPL will make if it is shifted out of Maharashtra? Let me tell you, today morning, 5 lakh liters of water from Miraj to Latur it reached. And this 5 lakh liters of water, for 1 week, it will serve the people of Latur. If such 12 trains, if this 60 lakh liters of water is saved and 12 trains reach Latur, then entire month of April and entire month of May, People of Latur can have water for drinking and for other purposes. And therefore, to say that shifting IPL is nonsensical, I don't agree with you on this point.
No, because the one thing that you're not understanding.
Will only worsen the situation.
No, how will it
Farmers
worsen the
will be-
situation? The amount of water required to conduct the IPL is only 2%
You
of
close
the amount
sugar
of water
industries and you
required by the
create more
sugarcane
unemployment.
industry.
That's what I'm saying. Your view is that you should close sugar industry. You should shut down sugar industries. So create more
No,
unemployment.
I'm
Farmers
sorry,
will
that's
die
not
of
what we are
starving.
saying at
You want
all.
me to- you
We
want
are
that-
saying that successive governments have been taking sugarcane through areas of Maharashtra where there isn't enough water. The amount of water required to produce sugarcane in Maharashtra is double that of a state like Uttar Pradesh. You cannot take sugarcane and it's being done by netas. It's the who's who of Maharashtra's netas who are sugar barons. Why are you, Mr. Gupta, not prepared to speak out against them?
The sugar barons, most of the leaders belong to the Congress party and the NCP.
They are BJP
And most of
leaders
the
as well.
sugar industry is
Pankaja
in the
Munde
western
has
region.
sugar industries.
Is in the western
Vinod
region of
Tavre has a
Maharashtra.
sugar industry as well. These are not Congress
Mrs.
leaders.
Munde had a sugar industry in the Beed district, which is facing a severe drought. She has only one sugar industry here, and even Marathwada is now facing a severe drought.
When there is a real problem, you mustn't go after the easy target. You must go after the real villain. The real villain in this case, make no mistake, is sugarcane. And I just want to end this broadcast thanking Sunil Jain, thanking Vivekanand Gupta and Sahil Joshi with that one data point that I want you to just keep in your mind as we end this broadcast. Remember, 20 IPL matches is equal to only 3 tons of sugar. The water required for 20 IPL matches is equal to only the amount of water required for 3 tons of sugar. Whereas the total consumption of sugarcane in Maharashtra is 75.4 million tons. Now, the total amount of water required for these 20 IPL matches is only 0.000038, less than 0.5, less than 1% of the total sugarcane water consumption in the state. So if there's a problem that you need to fix, it's the excessive cultivation of sugarcane, it's the neta nexus in the sugarcane lobby, which ensures that nobody debates this. That's the problem that needs to be fixed. The IPL is just the sideshow. Don't pick on the ant, go after the gorilla. That's the point we wish to make. In a surprise decision, the Khattar government in Haryana today announced that Gurgaon will henceforth be known as Gurugram. The reason being given by the BJP government is that Gurugram is apparently where princes in years gone by used to go for training. So they used to be trained by gurus in this area, and therefore the place shall be called Gurugram. But everyone else is wondering, what's the need to change the name of Gurgaon? Remember when the name of Mumbai was changed from Bombay, Chennai from Madras, when you had Calcutta becoming Kolkata, the reason at that time was that these are colonial names, and therefore the British legacy must be done away with. We must go back to the Indian name. But Gurgaon from the very beginning was an Indian name, so why change it?
Delhi's wealthiest suburb, a hub for the high life, the call center capital of the world, and North India's leading financial and industrial hub, just got a brand new name. Say goodbye to Gurgaon, say hello to Gurugram. It's an epic move, says the BJP-ruled government in Haryana, signalling a return to the city's epic roots in the legend of Guru Dronacharya and the Bhagavad Gita. The Haryana government says the big name change was a major public demand. But the government has no answers about how a name change helps Gurgaon's real problems. Its collapsing infrastructure, dreadful roads, abysmal power and deteriorating drainage systems. Not to mention rising crime. And crores will potentially now be spent painting new road signs, government stationery and official seals. All of this will beg the question, is that all really worth a new name? Bureau Report, India Today.
The Congress is lashing out at the BJP, saying the decision to rename Gurgaon as Gurugram makes absolutely no sense. Leading that charge is the Congress's chief spokesperson, media coordinator Randeep Singh Surjewala. He's joining us on this broadcast. The BJP says it used to be the land where Gurukuls existed and therefore Gurugram is a better name for Gurgaon. Why are you upset, Mr. Surjewala?
Rahul, Gurgaon has an international branding. All that Khattar government is indulging in is in superficiality. Instead of indulging in such superfluous conduct, it would have been wiser to deal with the infrastructural, traffic and water and power problems of Gurgaon and to ensure that Gurgaon lives with adequate progress, infrastructural development and harmony, which is actually essential key to ensuring that Gurgaon remains at the center point of Haryana's developmental dreams. You said that they are saying because they are Gurukuls. Their official press release says, and I quote, that they are converting Gurgaon into Gurugram because princes used to study here. I find that absolutely weird logic. Why are you only on naming, renaming, branding, rebranding? Why don't you do something concrete to improve the inherent infrastructural issues and security issues in Gurgaon? Only the other day, right in the middle of the court premises, there was a shootout. People were killed. Every day in Gurgaon, there are dacoities, there are murders, there are rapes happening, there are thefts happening. And the entire structure, including law and order, has crumbled. That is what Mr. Khattar needs to address, rather than naming and renaming, which will ultimately fructify into nothing.
Okay, I'm going to leave it there. Randeep Surjewala for joining us. Thank you very much. I want to get a counter from the BJP. Sudhanshu Mittal, national spokesperson for the party, is joining me on this broadcast. It makes no sense. Changing the name of Bombay to Mumbai, you could argue, was done because Bombay was an imperial colonial name with the legacy of the British Empire, and therefore a new India wanted a new name. That can still be argued, and there's some merit in that argument. Gurgaon is a new city. It was named by Indians as Gurgaon. It makes no sense to change the name from Gurgaon to Gurugram. What's going on, Sudhanshu?
Two things, Rahul. I just heard Mr. Surjewala talking about the priority of the Khattar government. Mr. Surjewala does not know that ever since the Congress rule was there, 25% reduction in crime rate has been witnessed in Gurgaon itself. So let them not feature something which is completely at variance with truth.
No, why don't you address the point? Why has the name of Gurgaon been changed to Gurugram, the land where princes used to go and study? Since when has the BJP been so fascinated by where princes went to study?
See, so often, since I have a lot of interaction regarding Gurgaon, so often people come and say, look, what is this Gurgaon? Gur, we all know Gur and Gaon. Gaon. I mean, there's been so much, you have had such nice remarks from people all over about the name of Gurgaon, which is today reflective of the modern India we witness. The skyscrapers, the metros, the rapid rail, all kind of developmental models which we all. That's the most modern city with a name which never befitted what it is. So,
no, I'm sorry. One second. So how, if Gurgaon doesn't sound like a fancy name for a new millennial city, how does Gurugram change that, Sudhanshu?
Gurugram is such a noble, pious and such an inspiring name.
How is it a modern name? No, one second. First you figure out what your argument is. Just now you said that Gurgaon sounds like a name which doesn't keep up with the image of a city with skyscrapers. How does Gurugram fit the image of a city with skyscrapers?
And this pertains to the ban on fireworks during all festivities in the state of Kerala. Remember, it is also a poll issue now. In an update to the Kerala fire, Justice Chidambaresh